off the course and your first session for a reading? Or
Yeah, but you can both. So we could either do 20% off the course, or there's also a code for 20% off your first reading.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So one or the other. And is it 6 modules?
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Any fun plans for the weekend?
I'm going with my girlfriend to a Nordic spa. I'm excited.
What's a Nordic spa?
It's an outdoor spa in the mountains where you do the hot and then the cold and then the hot and then the cold.
Oh my gosh. So
Yes.
the do you do cold showers? I do those every day.
Yeah, and cold plunges and cold showers, and it resets your nervous system, right?
It does. It really, really helps.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we should talk about, well, I'm going to be asking you about you have daily practices.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be one of the things that we're going to mention. Yeah, because I think these things are so imperative.
What about you? Do you have a fun weekend set up?
No, just trying to get a little relaxation. I think I told you I took this flow code course. Well, it's not, yeah. So I passed the exam, but now I got to learn all the triggers. So it's a lot of study. I've got all these plates in the air at one time. So I've got to
Okay, ladies, you can start if you are ready.
Okay, ready?
Yeah,
let's go.
Welcome to Transparent with Tina. Today's guest is an intuitive angel medium and healer. She's helped hundreds of people find their purpose, find their voice, and basically heal them. Welcome, Laurie Parente.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here today.
I want to just start with, I am a true believer, and I know that there might be a lot of skeptics out there, but I actually had a reading done by you, which I'm going to go into a little bit later, and you are the real deal. So you guys stay tuned, listen to the full interview, and I think you're going to be amazed at a lot of the things that you hear. So you knew from a very young age that you were an intuitive and healer and angel medium, or what? How did this all happen?
Yeah, when I was really little, I was really connected, and I saw angels everywhere, and I saw spirits, and I knew things before they happened, and I knew what people were going to say. I knew who would be on the phone before they called, and it was very natural for me as a little child. But I wasn't born into a family where it was celebrated. So I learned very early not to share what I was seeing and not to share what I was hearing or about my dreams, because it just wasn't supported in my family. When I started to talk about the angel on the lawn and why they were there was talk of maybe we need to take her to a doctor. So I learned very early on that it wasn't safe to express that.
Now, were your parents spiritual at all?
Later I learned that my mom she was actually a very natural medium, but because of what had happened in her life, she had shut that down. And so she didn't want to see that in me.
That's what happens from generation to generation. If you don't heal, when you heal yourself, you heal for all the generations to come,
Right.
And that was something that I just learned at an intensive retreat, I would say. So when you say that you saw, because a lot of the things I'm thinking, yeah, because I know what people are going to say before they're going to say it. I almost like, it's almost impossible to lie to me. I know when people are lying, but seeing angels and seeing spirits, tell us more about that. Like you actually saw the vision or felt, yeah, tell me.
Yeah. So when I was little, I would see I would see spirits. I would see angels. There was in the house that we lived in, my sister and I, our bedroom was in the basement, and there was a spirit in the bathroom. And I later found out that he was a man in his 40s who had passed away in the home. But as a little kid, I didn't know who he was. I wasn't scared of him, but I knew that if I talked about him, it wasn't right to talk about him.
Well, did it look like a human, or was it like an outline of a human, or did it look like transparent? I mean, I'm asking because I kind of had a similar experience when my brother passed away when I was 9 years old. My brother and I were sharing a room at that time, and we both were supposed to be asleep. It was like an hour after we stopped talking, the lights were out, and we were the only two in the family that were not with him when he was killed. So we're both happened to be facing the same way that at the curtains, and we had blackout drapes. And the reason I said, you'll understand why I say that. And all of a sudden we see this, it's like a figurine, and it's glowing. It's got this glowing, like pulsing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, first thing I thought was Jesus. Maybe it's Jesus, And then it was almost like he was I couldn't hear it, but I could hear it in my mind.
Right.
Coming to say goodbye. All of a sudden the light flips on, and my brother's like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why'd you turn off the lights?" So that's the closest that I've come to. I mean, I didn't see his face. Like I said, it was like an outline, and it was just kind of pulsing. But
Right.
you actually saw a face.
Sometimes you'll get the full form, and sometimes it'll just be like a being of light, and sometimes it will just be a shadow, and you'll know who it is. So it's always different, and it depends on how much. It's like building a muscle. The more that you tune into it, the more information you can get, right? The clearer everything becomes.
Okay, so that's the intuitive. Then you are an angel medium, which means you communicate with those that have passed on the other, passed on over on the other side, correct?
Yes. So I'm very connected to the angelic realm. I carry angelic frequencies. And so I'm able to connect through my team, into other people's, what I'll call your heavenly helpers or your spiritual team, and get messages relayed back and forth. It's quite interesting because it's instantaneous messaging.
What is angelic? You said you have angelic frequency. What does that mean?
So everything is energy, everything is frequency, everything is vibration. And the angelic realm is a certain kind of frequency that you can tap into. And then when you're tapping into loved ones, it feels differently. It's a different kind of energy. And when you're tapping into ascended masters or teachers, it's always a little bit different. But that angelic frequency is what I bring through the most.
Now, can anybody tap into that frequency?
If they have made a contract to be in this life and to bring that frequency through, absolutely. Can anyone? I think with the right intention and the right work, I believe so, yes.
Do you believe that everybody has a little bit of a psychic ability?
I believe that we all have huge psychic abilities. We were just taught that there's only 5 senses. And so we were all very psychic when we were little, but then it was taught out of us, right? So we were educated on these 5 senses, and we have this 6th sense, which is our intuition and our psychic abilities, which is so much bigger than our 5 senses because it encompasses all those 5 senses.
Exactly. And once you realize that, really start tapping into that, your whole world changes. And now it becomes magical and mystical.
Right.
Because for me, living the 5 sensory world, it in itself was just, honestly, I don't feel like a life worth living. That's kind of how I feel. It became very routine, very flat, very just getting through the day, and checking it off. And it's like there was no joy, there's no playfulness, there's no light. Everything was very heavy for me until I started really surrendering. I like to use that word, surrendering to the sixth sense, my intuition, knowing that the universe is always working for me, regardless of appearance. Because I think it's safe to say anybody that looks back at a challenge that they were facing, and it was a difficult one, that you can't see the good most of the time, or because you're not surrendering, going, I trust that this is happening for my highest good. That's what I'm choosing to live my life now. Whereas before it would just be, get behind fear and everything else. So I think, this is the way to live. And, it's interesting. I was reading in your website uh, that you've worked with Sonia Choquette.
Yes. Yeah. She's
So
one of
she's
my
been on my show. And, that is the reason that got me started with the angels.
nice.
Her first book, Ask Your Guides, and you can ask them for anything. She talks about runners in her book, like she calls them runners, where you want the perfect parking spot, or you want them to go ahead and secure you the best spot on the airline, or whatever it is. And you know what? I use it. I actually use it, and it works. And so, tell me about, like, the angels are always there to help us, correct?
Right. Yes, they're always there for us to tap into. And I think it surrenders such a great word. And we can ask them for anything that is in alignment with who we are in the moment.
Hmm.
So I believe that our angels are here to champion us, to show us that life is safe, that to remind us that we're spiritual beings having this spiritual experience in a human body, and they're here to help us navigate that.
Yeah, because it's I'm hoping it's going to be easier when I'm an angel. Rather, this human experience is it doesn't get easier. I mean, in some ways it does, like me surrendering,
Mhm.
but then you've got to deal with older age and your physical and all that kind of stuff. Um, so, how do you call in your angels?
But at this point, my angels are just with me all the time.
Okay.
But I think it's really important to set up what I call a sacred space when you're going into meditation, to have a space where you can go, and maybe it's something that you can visualize quite easily. Maybe it's something you've seen in a movie or a poster or somewhere you've been in the world, where you just feel comfortable and you feel safe and you feel calm and you feel peaceful, and just go into that space mentally and create it with all of your senses. Bring in all the sights and the sounds and the feels, and then just invite them in and start having conversations.
Through visualization.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that's one of the things that came out in my reading, um,
Mm.
was my guardian angel is my grandmother, and you are the second person that told me that. And the first time, I thought that's got to be a mistake because I never met her. You know,
Right.
I never met either one, to be honest with you. But you described her to a T, what she looks like. At first I thought you're talking about my mom, but then you said blue eyes. I'm like, oh my God, the wavy hair, the blue, even what she was wearing, and it blew my mind. So you had said to me, she's asking you to visualize a cottage, like a stone, not a cottage, a stone, like a stone cottage, I guess you can have, by the beach. So that's what I'm doing to go to meet with her. Let me ask you, I guess I can use that same place to call in my angels. Should it, right?
Right, right. So our loved ones and our guardian angel will always connect with us first because it's the easiest vibration to connect into. And then you can expand from there. And you will know or when it's time to meet other people or when it's time to try a different place. And sometimes they'll just come into you. They'll come in with your dreams. They'll come in when you're driving. They'll come in. You'll be sitting thinking you're talking to your grandma, but somebody else will show up. And it's just about being open and curious and really just approaching it all with love and compassion for yourself.
Okay, so now that you mentioned dreams, do you think that's another avenue of them trying to communicate with you is through your dreams? Because I don't believe
Absolutely.
your dreams are random.
I think there's this concept of when we go to sleep, where does our consciousness go? Like, are we
Mhm.
just sitting on the edge of our bed twiddling our thumbs for 8 hours? We're traveling at night. We're learning, we're expanding, we're growing. We are meeting with our loved ones. I mean, that's definitely happening at night.
Whether you remember your dreams or not. Because I know a lot of people have said they don't. And there's periods where I remember every dream. And then sometimes I go for months and I don't, I'm sleeping, but I don't remember my dreams.
Right. But
Yeah.
you're still integrating information while you're sleeping, whether you're conscious of it or not.
And also, I heard that candles is a way of activating the connection with your angels. How do you feel about that?
I love candles. If that feels right to you,
Hmm.
you can always, if you know what your your yes and your no feel like in your body, you can start to test that. Do candles feel right for me?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, exactly. So you have a daily practice that keeps you grounded and in touch with your spiritual team. Tell
Mhm.
me about that. What is your spiritual team?
So your spiritual team is just the collection of your angels, your guides, your mentors, your loved one, everyone who is around you at this time supporting you. And they can come and go and change. We get different guides. We can call in different teachers, different mentors when we need different things in our life. And it's just, we've I think sometimes we feel like we're alone, that we're doing this alone.
Oh yeah,
We have
absolutely.
so much support that we can't even imagine the amount of support we have. And the first time that I called in my whole team, I was doing a meditation. I was on a beach and I was just surrounded by concentric circles of those who are supporting me. And when you feel that kind of support, you're right, life changes because it's safe to be here. It's safe to be who you are. And you're completely supported in shining your light, in letting your heart shine.
Exactly. And what I've been experiencing a lot is repetitive numbers, which I've come to find out are the angels trying to send you a message. And I've never had this before. And now it's not a day that goes by that doesn't at least happen once. So it's like 111, 1111, 222, any repetitive numbers. And it really is fun because and now I have a lot of them memorized. But you just if you guys are seeing this at what those of you that are listening and watching, if you experience that and you look at your clock and it has the repetitive number, go into your browser and just type in angel meaning of number and then put the number in. And it's just amazing. And I'm getting 1111 a lot. And that's basically saying that I'm on track, I'm on course, which because I am creating a lot of new things in my life at one time. And that can be overwhelming when you're just relying on your sixth senses. Because you know what? I couldn't have done what I'm doing right now last year without without surrendering to understanding that this is real, right?
Right.
Because I would have been trapped behind fear and gone at a much slower pace. So tell us some of the daily practices that you do to ground yourself and get in touch with your team.
So it's something that's always evolving. I started off with meditation.
Mhm.
And of course, you and I have talked about breath work and how important it is to be grounded into your body. So there's always some element of meditation and some element of breath work. And then I have a sacred space that I go into in visualization. And I meet with my team. If you can think of it as a kind of a cosmic boardroom where everyone's around the boardroom table and just, what do I need to know today? What's my
Mhm.
best course of action? What is what can I do today to follow my highest timeline? And just be getting that information and that support.
Exactly. And you know what? That's how I journal. Danette May, who I had on my show probably about a year or so ago, gave me that tip because instead of just putting pen to paper, she said, write at the top of your paper, what do I need to know? And
Right.
it's fascinating because
Mhm.
it's like your hand starts. If you don't believe in channeling, you will when you do this because my mind couldn't think that fast to be writing down it's just coming through me. So I love that. What do I need to do? And then there's another one too. Where do I need to go? What do I need to do? Who do I need to see? Or what do I need? I got it mixed up, but it's basically asking how you can best serve for the day.
Right.
Right. And I think that in itself, Laurie, is like so crucial. That's such a game changer because you know what? If we're always just thinking about ourselves, that first of all will make you feel disconnected and separate right there. Okay. But if you're always asking of how you can serve somebody else, then I think that's where the fun begins too, because you start to realize, wow, I have more gifts inside of me than I thought I did. Or, it's just a chain reaction.
As long as just a little tiny caution in there, as long as everything that you're doing to serve others, that you're filling yourself first, that you are when you're asking, what do I need to do today? It might come back to you to say, you know what, you need to take the day to rest. And
Mhm.
so take the day to rest, because then you'll be able to fill your cup and serve others from a full cup. So as long as you are making sure it is about taking care of yourself first, because you can't take care of anyone else if you are completely burnt out.
And you know what? We weren't taught that. We were taught that's selfish. And you know what? I most of the things that we've been taught is backwards.
Right.
Because just look at any child. I've said this before. Look at any child. That's your true nature. They don't have fear. They're love. They're joyful. They know what they want. You ask a kid, any child, what they want to do. When I grow up, I want to be this, and then you ask an adult, like, I still don't know what I'm going to do. And you know what? It's not that they don't know, I don't believe. It's just they've become so filled with fear that they don't trust themselves enough that they can actually accomplish it. So why bother to even say it? Because I don't want to disappoint myself for me, that really came through this year was how little I was trusting of myself. And the thing is, when you're not trusting of yourself, you're going to attract people that are untrustworthy.
Right. They're going to mirror that to you. And so we've been taught that we can fix everything by thinking it through. And it's just, we can't. If we're up here, we're not in our body. And we need
Right.
to bring our energy down and be embodied and follow the energy within and around us for what's the best course of action for me and everyone around me today.
Exactly. And so that was one of my questions too, was, is it possible to access your angels and your guides if you have a very busy mind?
You do need to find a way to calm your thoughts.
Mhm.
You can ask your angels to help you to calm your thoughts, or to bring you methods that will help you to calm your thoughts. And then often what will happen is you'll be looking through something and it'll come up, hey, if you want to calm your thoughts, try this. And they'll bring you methods that will help you. I think if you are always in your brain going round and round, it's a little bit hard to
Going to
connect.
be hard. And it's usually those people that wouldn't be tuning into this anyway, because they wouldn't really believe in the sixth sense anyway. So why don't we talk a little bit about some of those practices to calm your mind? Okay. So we talk meditation
Mhm,
is one. I actually, when I meditate to the solfeggio sound frequencies.
mhm.
Do you think that that gives you a little bit of a leg up?
If you're someone that music or frequencies calm down your mind, then absolutely do that. For
Okay.
myself, I'm a former professional musician, so listening to any kind of music, I just tune into the music. So I need the silence. So it's just experimenting, try different ways and find what works for you. And if someone is saying to you, do it this way, don't listen to them, because you're the only one who knows what's going to work for you.
Yes, and I do have several kinds of ADD, and I've read about it, and it does work. If you have ADD, it's better to calm your mind with a little bit of music, not something that you're going to want to sing to, because then but just something calming. So the sound frequency. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you can just go on YouTube and put in the number nine, solfeggio, SOLFEGGIO, um, frequencies, and it'll give you all the different ones, and they're all for different things. Some are cleansing your aura, some is for cell regeneration and everything else. I found that to be amazing. We touched upon a little bit about breath work.
Mhm.
Huge game changer for me. So as you said, it actually calms your central nervous system.
Right.
When you have anxiety, well, think about it. When you have anxiety, what happens? You stop breathing, right? When you get scared, you stop breathing, and it changes your central nervous system. So to calm it down, it's usually I love Wim Hof's. I mean, yeah, I feel like I'm about to pass out when I do it because you actually are hyperventilating, but you feel it working. You feel it tingling and everything else. Also great for releasing any kind of stuck bad energy from past trauma or anything else. We also talked about the cold showers and plunges. Do you think that helps to calm you down? I know it's great for your cardiovascular, but
It's really good for your nervous system. And one of someone was telling me this summer that in the Norwegian countries, if you have depression or anxiety, they will actually prescribe cold plunges.
Interesting.
right? Before
That's
going to drugs, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So let's see. You do coaching as well, correct? You do readings
Mhm.
and you do coaching. Can you tell us a little bit about your coaching program?
So I have a coaching program called There She Is. It's about women finding themselves because so many of us have, whether it is from trauma or conditioning or family or cultural or religious, whatever's happened in our lives, we don't know who we are. We're just busy taking care of everyone else and making sure everybody else is okay. And we don't know how to fix it. And we get to a point where it just feels, like you said before, like life, like, what am I doing? It's
Yeah.
not working. It feels heavy. There's no joy. So it's all about, it's a 8-week course where we go through embodying your thoughts and your grief and your forgiveness and all those things, and then opening up to your spiritual gifts.
That's the online course, correct?
Yeah.
That's the online course. Okay, so do you do one-on-one coaching too?
I do one-on-one coaching, I do group coaching, and I have an online course as well.
Okay, so let's not confuse everybody. So you do the one-on-one coaching, and so when you are coaching somebody one-on-one, what are you focusing on?
Normally, I'm focusing on whatever their spiritual team is bringing through that they need.
Oh, I see. So it's a coaching session with your intuitive
Mhm.
leading you to let that person know what they need to be doing at this point.
Right.
Oh, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay. And then you do, is that the same thing as a reading like what I had?
Yes, so people will sometimes just book one reading with me, and it will be enough for them to open up to their light, because we will do activations in there as well to open up some more of their psychic senses. And then other people will do groups of one-on-ones.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Like I said, my reading, and the fact, I mean, my dad came through.
Mm.
And for again, those skeptics out there, how did you know, how would you have known that my dad passed away? How would you know that I didn't have a good relationship with my dad? But it felt wonderful because he came back to say, I'm sorry. So best half hour I've spent in a very, very long time. So I didn't know this. So I'm gonna be doing this again. And so do you just whatever the angels come, whatever is coming through, or you can also ask questions too. If there's something that you want to know, you
Oh,
ask.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. That's fantastic. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's see. What is the free quantum light language activation? Or
So I believe we did light language in your
that's
journey.
what I thought. That's what I
So
thought. Okay. So
yeah,
okay.
um, light language is a quantum language built of sound and color and sacred geometry, and it's something that we all can connect to. It's like our soul is speaking to us. So I connect to angelic light language, and when I'm working with clients, I can connect into the light language that will help them for healing and activations.
Oh, fantastic. And how do you heal?
So I don't personally heal. The
Okay.
angels come through me and bring
Oh,
healings. And we normally work through this through shamanic journeys,
uh-huh.
which I believe we did in your session as well, where we'll go on a journey,
Right.
and
Exactly.
we ask the angels in to help heal whatever we're working with.
Right. Okay. And what is you say is that the same thing as where you say you embody angelic frequencies?
Right. So
That's right.
embodying angelic frequencies, channeling angelic frequencies, it's all just different words.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm sure, let's see, I'm trying to think if there's any other questions that I had. No. So, what would you say would be three things that somebody could do if they're completely new to this, that they could start right away to start getting in touch with their spirit, the angels, and things like that?
Well, I would say, first of all, find a way to quiet your mind.
Okay.
Find what works for you. I mean, there's tapping, there's breath work, there's guided meditations, anything that you can do to get past your mind and get into your body.
Mhm.
Um, and then I would just say be open to connection and just be curious and set up that sacred space and start to connect with your loved ones, with your people. I do have a guide on my website that leads everybody through, prepare, initiate, and listen. And those are the ways that I believe are the easiest way to start to connect.
Right. Okay. And your website is just your name, Laurie Parente. Now, you today are offering for our listeners at 20% off your course
Mhm.
or 20% off their first reading, correct?
Right. Yes.
And we're going to be putting that down on the description, but it's laurieparente.com/course would be the one for that. Oh, wait, that's the sorry, that's the website. The promo code is promo 20.
Right.
So if you go right there, so it's laurieparente.com/course, and then you type in the promo code promo 20, you'll get 20% off the course. And then how would they apply that promo code for the reading?
So if you've never had a reading with me before, I offer a 20% discount, and the promo code is just first 20.
First 20. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. All right. Well, Laurie, it's so amazing having you on. I'm so glad that we got to shed this light with my listeners. And I know it's completely changed my life. And I keep getting more and more excited about it because, like you said in the beginning, anything you do more of gets easier. And now it's like I'm looking for my numbers every day. And you know what? I ask for a sign. If I'm trying to make a decision on something, I'll say, okay, show me a dove today, and if I don't see the dove, I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. But it makes it a lot more fun and magical. And I think that's, in this day and age, we need a little bit more lightness and something to be hopeful about. And, this thing called life. And like you said, everything is energy. Everything is energy. We are not just a fixed form that are five senses. We have that spiritual, intuitive side that we can connect with at any time. So thank you again for being here, Laurie. And thank you guys all for tuning in. And we will see you next week.
Thank you.